guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Grace, also known as Grace. This is the Planning Corner. If you guys are new here, welcome, and if you guys are not new here, welcome back. Today I'm actually going to be going over my April monthly budget. So I'm going to be going over my calendar and making a list, color coding it as I typically do. So if that's something that you're interested in watching, then definitely stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over is this sheet right here. I'm just gonna look for a sticker that kind of matches this. And as you can see, I've used most of these stickers. So I think this one will be okay for the most part. What I typically like to do is go over my income, my husband's income, and put the total. So what I like to do when it comes to my income is use the least expected amount that we would get per month. That would include both myself and my husband's full-time jobs. He gets paid weekly and I get paid bi-weekly. So with my job, I would expect at least $3,000 per month. And my husband, since he gets paid weekly, the least amount per week would be $800. Since there's 5 weeks for the month of April, we would expect around $4,000 for him, making it a total of $7,000 for the month as the least expected amount. Mortgage is typically the first thing that comes to mind since that's due on the first of the month each month. I'll add my budget here and my actuals on this side. Amazon Prime, and that's at $13.97. Which I guess I could round it up, but I never do. Then electricity is typically due on the 10th. And for this, I think I'm gonna budget $140. I don't actually know how much it's going to be, to be honest. This is gas/heat. This is due on the 11th, and I think this time I'm gonna do 55. Okay, then student loan. I know it's not due, but I still like to set aside some money for it, so I'm gonna say $100. Then I have water and trash due this month. They are typically included on the same bill. So for that, I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. So for that, I'm gonna budget, I'm gonna say 180 for this. Okay, and then next is going to be phones. That's typically due on the 19th, and this is due on the 17th. So for phones, 99, that's typically the same amount each month. No change there. CenturyLink, 55. Netflix, I said I was gonna cancel this, and well, that still hasn't happened, and I don't think, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore with Netflix. Life insurance, that is through State Farm, and actually my car insurance is also through State Farm, but I pay them on separate days. That's how it works. So for car insurance, I'm gonna budget 160. We have car loans. So my car loan, 300. It's 293, but I'm just rounding it up to 300 now. And then car loan number 2, which is my husband, He is going to budget $400 for that this month. So now I'm going to be doing my paycheck to paycheck color code budget, and I like to color code my paychecks just to see which paycheck I'll be using to pay what bills. So typically with my first paycheck, I like paying the bigger bills. So anything like my student loan, my car loan, things like that. And then with my second paycheck, I like to pay the bills that are not so much. That way I'm able to go ahead and roll over some money for the following month if there's anything left. And then the third paycheck is all of my husband's paychecks combined, and he typically takes care of the mortgage all by himself and his car loan. So the next thing to do is add up all my totals for my expenses. That way I know what to expect as far as what might happen for my budgeted expenses. And then what I like to do at the end of the month is come back and put my actuals. So I'm going to go ahead and round this up to 3,273. That way it's just giving us an even amount. And then I'm going to subtract that from my income, leaving us with around 3,700 to work with. So from here, what I'll do is budget out my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. But then I also have to take into account next month's mortgage. So from here, I'm actually going to subtract next month's mortgage, and we're going to use this money towards that. Plus, go ahead and use this for our variable expenses such as our sinking funds and our cash envelopes. And then I also can't forget to take into account my savings challenges from here. So I am saving a bi-weekly amount. So my goal this month is 660 since I'm saving 330 per paycheck. I do want to get to that $7,000 amount by the end of the year. But for now, this is the last part of this sheet. I'm going to move on to the monthly spread. So now I'm going to go ahead and focus on my paydays. I'm just looking for some stickers that I can use on this spread. I'm going to mark down my paydays and my husband's paydays. So we both get paid on Fridays, but this time I get paid 3 times during this month. So that's going to be great. I cannot wait to budget all of those paychecks and make sure all that money is accounted for. Then I like going back when we actually get paid and putting the actual amounts right next to those stickers. That way when I close out my budget at the end of the month, I have the actual amounts. And then I'm also placing down some stickers for my bills. That way I can jot it down to see when it's due as well. I like being able to see exactly when those bills are due on the calendar. That way I can keep track of when I paid it, when it's coming up. It's just something I like doing with my budget. Typically, I like keeping this calendar spread super functional and simple, but I already had some washi down and it's making it look very, very colorful, which can also be a motivational part of being able to do your budget. And then I do have a birthday happening this month. It's my mom's birthday, so that's also something that I put down. And I'm also adding my weekly check-ins. I typically like to do it either on Thursdays or Fridays of the week. And I go over my expenses, what money I have left on my cash envelopes, if I've taken anything out from my sinking funds, etc. And on the sidebar here, I'm also adding the weekly amounts for my available balance in my bank account. I like to check in on my bank account just to make sure everything looks good. And this also helps with making sure that all the bills are accounted for, that there is actually an available balance when it comes to checking in on my bank account. And I just like tracking those type of things in my monthly spread, which is why I also like including it. I like keeping this sheet on hand as well. It may seem a little bit redundant because it's very repetitive as far as what bills I have on here, but I like being able to color code it and making sure that everything is accounted for just to make sure I don't forget anything. And then of course my weekly check-ins to make sure that I am doing what I am supposed to be doing. And then of course, I like doing my paycheck to paycheck budgets on a separate half sheet. That way I also keep track of what I'm doing for my cash envelopes and my sinking funds every time I get paid. But anyways, that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, definitely leave a like down below. Feel free to subscribe, and until the next video, bye!